46th annual Shrine Bowl game. It's our 11-man game to get things kicked off here at 4 p.m. with the 9-man game to follow here at Cushman Field. Happy to have everybody with us on Beck Sports this afternoon alongside Scott Grockow. I'm Noah Reed, and it is the 11-man game as the captains are at midfield right now getting set for the coin toss. And Scott, this is always an exciting event year in and year out. Some of the best players across the entire state meet together and for one final time get to put on a high school uniform and play some ball.
Yeah, you know, this is a just truly a great event. I had the privilege of coaching in this thing 6 times. My son got a chance to play in this thing. Besides what it means, and there's so many great things that it means, but for these players, for some of them it's the last time they're going to play organized football. For some of these guys might be the last time they play on that side of the ball. I mean, we've had some kids come and knew where they were recruited in college to play defense. We asked them to play offense, and they did it. And it's just a really great time and a really great experience for those guys. I know I've talked a lot of my son being one of them, and a lot of other guys talk about the experience of going through this and what it really meant to them.
Such a great event for a good cause, as well as a lot of great players here and coaches as well. We'll step aside here on the Buffalo Wild Wings pregame show, and when we come back, we get you all set for kickoff today between the 11-man East and West on Beck Sports.
Quit eating your burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Follow your instincts to B-dubs for the new All-American Cheeseburger. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. And knock that baby down with a frosted beer at the bar, just like the sports gods intended. The new All-American Cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
When it comes to your business, insurance answers should come easily from an agent you know and trust, someone just down the road, not across the country. Like a Nodak agent, a local professional who knows North Dakota and businesses like yours. So if it's an agribusiness, your commercial property, or your customer's kitchen table, the answers are right in front of you. Get the protection your business needs with the service you expect. Nodak Insurance Company. Agents with answers.
Welcome you back here to Cushman Field in Grand Forks, the 46th annual Shrine Bowl game, as the two teams in our 11-man game getting lined up for the rosters to be introduced here at Cushman Field. Happy to have you with us on Beck Sports today for the Shrine Bowl game. 11-man to get started now, and our 9-man game immediately to follow afterwards. We'll turn it over now to Darren Looker, our public address announcer, as he gets you the rosters for both the West and the East.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Chem and El Zagal Temples of North Dakota welcome you to Cushman Field for the 46th Annual Shrine Bowl. Shrine members across North America work to provide free medical treatment for children with burn, orthopedic, and cleft palate needs, and this event is just one example of that effort. Today we have gathered the finest high school football players in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota to support the mission of the Shrine. Before introducing the teams, we would like to thank the many individuals who volunteer their time to make this event possible. We would also like to acknowledge the many Shrine members and sponsors who tirelessly give of themselves throughout the year, particularly the football committee members from the Chem and El Zagal Temples. This is the only all-star football game endorsed and supported by the North Dakota High School Coaches Association. And the coaches in today's game are all members in good standing of the association. Also, we would like to mention that today's press box, sideline, and game officials are volunteering their time today to support the work of the Shrine. We thank them for their generosity and ask that you display appropriate sportsmanship and appreciation for their efforts. Once again, welcome to Cushman Field, and we hope that you enjoy today's games. Our first game is the 11-man between the West and the East. Introducing the rosters and coaches for both teams, beginning with the 11-man West. From Bismarck, number 4, Matt Trulli. From Williston, number 5, Dayton Smith. From Bismarck, number 10, Will Madler. From Bismarck, number 11, Patrick Doan. From Mandan, number 12, Brad Treber. From Velva, number 13, Seth Fahey. From Mandan, number 15, Keaton Meshke. From Killdeer, number 19, Dylan Tabor. From Beulah, number 21, Dawson Bieber. From Velva, number 22, Hayden Lee. From Bismarck, number 24, Izzy Olson. From Devil's Lake, number 25, Joey Hornstein. From Bowman County, number 26, Adam Powell. From Jamestown, number 34, Marcus Hochhalter. From Bismarck Century, number 35, Noah Skulski. From Beulah, number 44, Caleb McGraw. From Jamestown, number 47, Aaron Mack. From Hazen, number 50, Caden Sago. From Lewis and Clark, R-Redeemers, number 51, Justin Maceo. From Breckenridge, number 52, Carter Fredrickson. From Velva, number 54, Dakota Aseth. From Turtle Mountain, number 55, Dylan Short. From Bismarck St. Mary's, number 56, Jace Hustle. From Bismarck, number 58, Chase Doctor. From Lewis and Clark, R-Redeemers, number 59, Cole Erickson. From Jamestown, number 60, Paul Vondal. From Bismarck, number 73, Elijah Menninger. From Jamestown, number 74, Carson Kennelly. From Bismarck, number 80, Kenyon Stonecipher. From Bismarck, number 83, Dalton Gullickson. From Delac Burlington, number 84, Scott Druvdahl. And from Beulah, number 92, Shea Yeager. Head coach of the West from Bismarck, Mark Gibson. The assistants from Beulah, Jim Dooley. From Devil's Lake, Jake Watland. And from Velva, Matt Weidler. Ladies and gentlemen, the 11-man West. Now introducing the 11-man East. From Ellendale, Ellergy Klum, number 3, Philip Hagan. From Grand Forks Central, number 4, Jackson Lorenz. From Fargo South, number 5, Carter Morrow. From West Fargo, Cheyenne, number 6, Caden Jastrom. From Fargo Davies, number 7, Jesse Forknell. From West Fargo Cheyenne, number 8, Parker Sander. From Park River, Fordville, Lincoln, number 9, Adam Zavalny. From Central Cass, number 10, J.J. Albrecht. From Central Cass, number 11, Braden Knutson. From Hillsboro, Central Valley, number 12, Mark Hastings. From Central Cass, number 13, Jonah Lights. From Grand Forks, Red River, number 14, Dawson Brandvold. From Kindred, number 15, Michael Hall. From Central Cass, number 16, Jacob Halverson. From Fargo South, number 17, Dawson Weisenberger. From Oak Grove, number 18, Isaac Olson. From Milner, North Sergeant, number 20, Josh Martinson. From East Grand Forks, number 21, Ethan Treble. From Carrington, number 23, Drew Page. From Fargo Davies, number 25, Jacob Martindam. From Milner, North Sergeant, number 27, T.J. Johnson. From Grand Forks, Red River, number 32, Nathan Schumacher. From West Fargo, Cheyenne, number 33, Garrett Lund. From Grand Forks Central, number 44, Austin Braun. From Milner, North Sergeant, number 52, Adam Newstall. From Harvey Wells County, number 57, Jude Lawson. From Milner, North Sergeant, number 58, Troy Dietz. From Fargo North, number 64, Ben Brecky. From Kindred, number 70, Charlie Rieger. From Fargo North, number 72, Peyton Amundsen. From Fargo South, number 73, Clay Ludwig. From Northern Cass, number 74, Greg Seville. From Langdon area, Munich, Edmore, number 75, Carter Curie. From Hillsboro, Central Valley, number 76, Seth Owens. From West Fargo, number 77, Brandon Steinhauer. From Wahpeton, number 78, Tucker Hermis. And from East Grand Forks, number 79, Chase Olderbach. Head coach of the 11-man East from the Langdon area, Josh Kravarchka. The assistants from Fargo South, Tyler Cosell. From Milner, North Sergeant Eric Olson. And from Wahpeton, Brian Dockin. Ladies and gentlemen, 11-man East. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, kindly remove your caps as you turn to face the flag at the south end of the field. To honor the United States of America this afternoon, Technical Sergeant with the North Dakota National Guard, Mr. Randy Shear, will lead us in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Rosters have been announced, the national anthem has been sung, and we are almost set for kickoff here in our 46th annual Shrine Bowl game. Let's take a quick look at our keys to the game brought to you by Eventide Senior Living Communities. And Coach, when you look at the West, they've got a good balance of running backs, wide receivers. They've got the North Dakota Player of the Year and Will Madler underneath center. The ability to establish that balance, both running and passing, is going to be critical for them today.
Yeah, you know, Madler at the helm, he's done a great job for Bismarck for the last 3 years. I have a chance to watch him, and he does a great job. And he also understands the fact about balance. I mean, he does a good job, and I know Coach Gibson will give him the green light to do a little changing on the field, but that'll be real key to them.
And on the other side for the East, their athleticism is off the charts on both sides of the football, offensively and defensively. You got to look for them to use that to their advantage.
Right, and you know, and Coach Kravachka up there at Langdon, he runs a spread offense.
Game, and we are underway. Picked up around the 15-yard line, and the return is to the 28, where the East starts things.
You know, the kickoffs, you know, the kicking is a real different. We'll talk about that during the game, but you know, you don't have a lot of time to work on returns and that kind of thing. And usually the receiver just find a crease and see what you can do. And you did a decent job that time of getting them back almost the 30-yard line.
For the East, it's Jesse Forknell, the Fargo Davies quarterback, to start under center for the East on the first offensive possession of the game.
Langdon spread. They're going to look to air it out. This doesn't surprise me one bit.
A quick catch on the slant.
Coach Kravachka, he likes to single up that receiver, and if he thinks he's got advantage quickly with that quick slant, he's going to get it to him and, you know, put it on the money and catch the ball. Big first down. It's going to be a lot of no huddle here too.
That's Dawson Weisenberger from Fargo South. He's headed to North Dakota State to play next year, and a great start for the East. A first down on the first play from line of scrimmage. A big gap up the middle and make it back-to-back first downs on the opening two plays for the East.
Yeah, you know, that's just a little inside trap play. You know, just did a great job running the football and getting a good push up front.
Braden Knutson, the Central Cass running back. He was a first-team All-State running back this past year for the Squirrels, and he's already got the East into West territory at the 40-yard line.
They've come out kind of three different formations already, and you know, letting them take a different look at everything. And
here's a give to Knutson again, and he shuffles his way to the 35-yard line for a pickup of 5.
That was supposed to be a fake on the fly sweep, and then just a little counter going back the other way. Little bobble snap, still timing was all right, and they still got some yards off of it.
Kenyon Stonecipher was there for the West to make a play in the backfield, but Forknell got it away just in time, and that sets up a second down and 5 from the 35 for the East, trying to score on the opening possession of the game.
You know, that's one of those things where coaches are frustrated. I know, being on the sideline, how that is. You get into the game, but you got to remember, these guys have worked on this for basically less than a week, and knowing what formation they're in, and I believe what it was there is they were short a guy. And I'm knowing Coach Kravachka, he's got some personnel groupings together, and it was just somebody didn't hear the right thing and just forgot to get out there.
So a little less than 2 minutes into the game, the first timeout called by the East, who were driving down the field quickly on their first 3 plays of the game. And when you get an all-star game like this, these are players that aren't necessarily used to playing with one another. They don't play with each other throughout the entire season. They know each other for about 5 or 6 days leading into this. So that can sometimes be a little bit of a trouble in the early part of the game, just making sure you've got the chemistry down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll see it'll get better as you go on. But some of these guys, the week you spend together, these guys get to know each other real well. And it's just, I can't say enough good things about this game.
So after the timeout from the East, their offense back out on the field now. 2nd down and 5 from the 35-yard line. 3 wide receivers set for Forknell in the gun. He looks to throw on 2nd and 5, airs it out to the near sideline, has a man, but some great coverage down the field by Patrick Doan out of Bismarck Legacy makes it 3rd down.
Just a little hitch and go on this side. The other two on the other side, the two outside receivers are just running a hitch, so it makes it look like you're running all hitch, but he's just running a quick hitch and go. D-back didn't bite. Had good coverage on that one, so that was a good job by the D-back.
J.J. Albrecht, the intended target. He's a future Minot State wide receiver. First 3rd down of the game now for the East. Inside handoff. There's a gap up the middle and make it a 1st down.
That's just a great push by the offensive line. Running back just got behind them, and he didn't get touched until he was about 5-6 yards downfield.
10 yards on the 3rd and 5 from T.J. Johnson, the Milner North Sargent running back, and he gives the East a fresh set of downs, knocking on the door of the red zone.
This heat today with this no huddle or kind of muddle huddle or whatever you want to call it offense could cause some problems too for both teams.
1st down with 4 wide receivers. Another give to Johnson, back-to-back plays. The Milner North Sargent running back gets it. He makes a few miss, and he's just shy of that 1st down marker. Looks like a pickup of 9 inside the 20-yard line.
That's just kind of a little inside zone read where the running back's got that option to cut it back, just find the crease. Linemen are all stepping basically to the right, and he's looking for the hole, and if it's not there, look to the cutback. You kind of freeze the outside backer on that side with the quarterback's motion, and he did a good job of that, staying underneath that, and got a big 1st down, or got a lot of yards off that again.
Forknell motions out of the backfield, and here's a quick toss on the end around. And that's Drew Page, the Carrington running back. He picks up the 1st down, and now all the way inside the 10-yard line is the East on its opening drive. They've pieced together a really nice drive to start this game.
Yes, they have. They just went empty that time, brought that running back up to the outside, ran a quick motion, and you'll notice he doesn't hand that off. He flips it to him. And the reason for that is if that's bobbled, then it's considered an incomplete pass. So that's part of the reason it's kind of just a jet sweep action, and they did a good job of sealing the edge.
Knutson gets his first touch in a while after he picked up 1st downs on each of the first 2 plays of the game, and he picks up a couple down to the 6-yard line.
That was Stonecipher getting in there. I know one of the comments that they said that Coach Gibson made is he's one of the best defensive linemen we've ever had. Well, there's been some really, really good ones out of Bismarck. So to have Coach Gibson make that comment about Stonecipher, that says a lot, and he did a great job that time. Usually you just influence that guy, but he didn't. He took care of business.
2nd down and goal. Forknell makes Stonecipher miss, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. The East up 6-0.
That's a great move by Coach Kravachik. Okay, Stonecipher, you're coming hard. We're going to put you on that same island, but now you're going to close down hard on our running back. I'll just have our quarterback keep it and dance in because there's nobody else out there.
Here's Forknell. He fakes the handoff to Knutson, and like Coach said, Stonecipher misses on the dive, and Forknell stumbles his way into the end zone. And now a chance to make it 7-0.
Yeah, and this is the part that's really different than for some people used to seeing is, just kick the extra points. There's no rushing. And some of the times the hardest things for the kids to remember is, hey, all I got to do is catch the ball, put it on there, let kicker wait for him to get there and go from there. One of the years that I coached in this thing, we were fortunate enough that's how we won it is we We had a kicker, and we won it because we could kick field goals.
That's Dawson Weisenberger who gets the kick, and it's through the uprights. 7-0. The East scores on its opening possession of the game. 7:41 to go in the first quarter. The East up by a touchdown. Welcome back to Cushman Field here in Grand Forks, and there's me ruining Jordan Lowry's shot before the game. The home of Grand Forks Central and Red River High School. Here is Cushman Field, and the East feeling right at home, Coach. 7-0 through one drive.
Yeah, that was an impressive drive. They just kind of took it down the field and did a little bit of everything.
The West hoping now to get on the board to answer that East touchdown. Here's the return from the 15. There's a big seam up the middle.
That was blocked nice. He just did a great job of reading it. Hornstein took it back up the middle. He's not a bad player, guys, let me tell you.
85 yards, Joey Hornstein, the Devils Lake product. How about that for an answer right away on the ensuing kickoff?
The only thing Coach Gibson's probably frustrated about that is he didn't get to call any plays or run any offense. But that was just, that's one of those things I talked to you about earlier. You don't spend a ton of time on this, and this is one of those that they made the wedge, and kids went to the outside and tried to run around it instead of breaking up the wedge. And Hornstein did a good job of getting to the middle. That's one of those things where I know what we've always did is basically said, hey, guys, we're running middle wedge here. We're not going to do anything fancy. Let's see if we can create a crease. Because when you get one, then good things happen. So here's that same thing again now. There's no rush. You see everybody just kind of standing there, and let's just get it back there. You can't fake it, can't do anything else. You just kind of make sure you got 11 guys on there. You can notice he gets up, puts it down. Now we're going to go kick it.
Beaver to hold here for Hochhalter, the Jamestown product, and that's right through the middle. 7-7 the score after Joey Hornstein goes 85 yards to the house on the kickoff return.
That was just find that crease and go. Joey's got some speed.
It didn't take long for the West to answer the East on the first touchdown of the game. Joey Hornstein goes 85 yards on the ensuing kickoff return. And let's see if there's a little bit of magic here in the East on the kickoff return. That takes a hop past Isaac Olson, and he grabs it right along the sideline but stays in bounds. But there's not much of a return as he's sandwiched down at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I remember we talked a lot about, especially playing on the turf, is let's keep it on the ground, let's make it hop, let's see if we can make something funny happen there, and that's exactly what happened. And, advantage for the West here is making them start deep in their own territory.
Let's introduce you tonight to the third member of our broadcast crew, and Corey Brooks.
Yeah, Obviously, special teams taking the storyline early on, and on that extra point, the East was short a guy, had to bring somebody on, and Coach nailed it when they called that timeout. J.J. Albrecht wasn't on the field. He was the target, so they had to bring him in. Now you wonder if that kickoff return, they're thinking about that, just trying to get the chemistry going early here in the Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, Coach, you nailed that one exactly. 10 guys on the field, that was the reason for the timeout, but didn't go to affect the East all that much. They were able to put it in for 7.
No, here again on that last play now, first time they've lost yards, and that was just Stonecipher again. He's just eating them up there right now. Again, look for them to use his aggressiveness against him.
Fortnell back out in the shotgun here, 2nd down and long. He flips it to Weisenberger on the near sideline, but he's met immediately. And it's a pickup of about 4 yards to the 14-yard line.
Great read by the corner. I believe that was Doan out of Legacy. He steps back. He sees it. He's coming up hard, or somebody's supposed to pick him up, but he came up quick, and that's what you need on that little throwback screen.
It was Doan the first one to him, then a handful of guys, including Noah Skolsky there to take Weisenberger down, and now we've got a 3rd down and 7 from the 15-yard line for the East.
Yeah, this is the first time they've faced anything like this, so it'll be interesting to see what Coach Kravachka comes up with here.
Fortnell rolls out to his left. Has to hurry. Defense collapsing in, and he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. The West defense gets back to sack Fortnell.
Yeah, he rolls them out to try to help with the pressure here a little bit. They're just running a flood series where the first guy's running a deep route, the second guy's running basically a medium out, and the inside guy's running a quick out. They just never got a chance to get his shoulder square and throw the ball. He was kind of open, but just didn't get a chance to. Now again, here on this punt, it'll be no rushing, so you can get down and you can cover it and that kind of thing. And you notice they have nobody out here covering this wide out, and that's because he can't throw it anyhow. You can't fake it. So
Weisenberger's punt takes a nice bounce for the East to the 47-yard line, but that's great starting field position for the West to try to take their first lead of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And there again on that punt, usually one of the things you teach, but you never know how good the punter is. Just don't let it hit the ground, and because once it hits, you never know what's going to happen.
7-7 our score here in the first quarter of our 11-man game. It was a long drive for the East that took about 5 minutes for them to get into the end zone. The West, on the other hand, this will be their first offensive play they've run after the 85-yard kickoff return from Joey Hornstein.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they come out. I'm going to guess it's going to be similar to what Bismarck High runs, just like with Coach Kravachka here. It's similar to what Langdon runs. So you're going to see some eye, you're going to see some one back, you're going to see all of that kind of stuff here. But as I say that, here they come, and they're going to go gun and one back, and here we go.
Will Madler, the quarterback, to start things for the West. He's the North Dakota Gatorade Player of the Year. Threw for over 5,000 yards in his career as a Bismarck Demon.
Well, when you throw for 2,000 yards your senior year, I understand why you might want to let him throw the ball just a little bit.
He goes under center to start. Quick screen to the near side. It was his former high school teammate and Trolley who makes a man miss, and he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. 19 yards on the pitch and catch between the two Demons.
I'm going to guess that there's actually a signal there between those two of them that if the guy comes up and plays press coverage, he's going to try to go around him. Guy stays back, we're just going to throw the quick screen to you, or the quick out to you, or little bubble to you, and you're going to go on air. No blocking, just you one-on-one.
Mark Hastings from Hillsborough Central Valley, the one that came in to make the tackle after the 19-yard pickup. Madler fakes the handoff.
Tight end.
Madler needs some time trying to escape. Still on his feet, but finally taken back for a big loss of 17 yards, almost back to where this drive started. It's at the 45-yard line for the West.
If you take a look at that play again, you'll see that the tight end starts on the left side here. He's coming across. You can't see him, but he's open. But there's enough pressure where Madler doesn't get a chance to see him because Gullickson's coming across and he's wide open, but Madler just doesn't get a chance to look at him and find him and go from there.
Garrett Lund from West Fargo Cheyenne with the sack, a loss of 16. Lund headed to Valley City next year. Will he be a linebacker for the Vikings? 2nd down and a long way to go for the West.
Yeah, you're back to kind of where you started here, so interested to see what they do with this now.
First down markers all the way up at the 18-yard line. It's on the 44 now, so make it 2nd and 26 for Madler. Throws on the run, connects with Trolley once again, and this one for 9 yards back to the 35.
Yeah, there again, that's a little bit, you talked about it earlier, that chemistry. And Madler and Trolley have the chemistry from playing together for the last few years, and, of course, that's where he's going to go when he's feeling the pressure. You got to give East a ton of credit. They're putting a lot of pressure on him and making him not do the things he wants to do.
3rd down and a long way to go. 17 yards is what Madler and company needs here on this play. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Here's Madler, rolls out the other way, just escapes a sack. He heaves it towards the end zone, has a man down there, but it's incomplete on the pass attempt to Izzy Olsen.
There again, that was just, he had some guys open, but because of the pressure, you can't find him. He's got a deep curl on from the number 2 receiver, I believe it is, and he's wide open, but you just don't have time to find him.
Let's go down to Corey Brooks, a little bit of an injury update down the sidelines.
The one thing you never want to see in these games, injuries, but Kenyon Stonecipher, who's already been big for the West, a little bit banged up, a nosebleed here early on. They're hoping to get him back in at some point, but out for now.
Thank you for that, Corey. And unfortunately, he had to miss a lot of the playoffs this year on that run to the state championship game for the Demons. He got injured in the quarterfinals earlier this year. And it takes a hop to the 14-yard line, and the East, once again, not great starting field position.
There again, you say, well, that punt didn't go very far. You don't want that punt to go very far. You go much deeper, he's going to get back to 20. Now you got him inside the 15. That's where you want him. I think that was Hochhalter again, and I just want to make the comment. I'm sure glad that Marcus is a heck of a lot better punter and kicker than his father is. I'm hoping Marty can hear this sometime so that he understands that I said that too.
He does get that punt inside the 15-yard line, so back-to-back possessions now. The East has started inside the 15. 3:49 to go in the first quarter. Third offensive drive of the game now for the East, with Jonah Lights, the Central Cast quarterback, in for the first time.
Comes a pass. He's got him.
Wide receiver pass downfield, and it's caught for a first down near midfield.
I had the discomfort of coaching against Coach Kravachka when he was a player at Lisbon. I coached against him when he was at Langdon and I was at Rugby, but I have a lot of respect for him. He's got some great ideas. Has great imagination when it comes to football and just does a great job up there.
33 yards on the pass from Halverson to Drew Page. And near midfield now at the 47 is the East.
Comes that inside. It's just sometimes they run it as a trap. Sometimes they run it just as basically a wedge play, and they just push the pile back up front.
Knutson picks up 4 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 6 inside Western Territory.
Here's one of those things too. You think about all the running backs. You got Hastings, who was a great running back for Hillsborough, playing defense. Mm-hmm. Because of the other guys you got here that can play running back for you on offense. So that makes a big difference.
Timeout called by the West. 2:42 to go here in the first quarter. We'll step aside with a timeout. We're all tied at 7, nearing the end of 1. From the timeout, 2:46 to go in the first quarter. The East trying to regain the lead. It's the second carry of the game for Drew Page, who gets down to the 45-yard line.
Basically, all that is for us older guys. That's just the old ISO play. You got the other back that's leading up on the fullback. You're leaving the fullback or the linebacker, and the fullback's leading, and that's basically all that is. You run it out of an open set, or a shotgun set, but it's basically the same concept.
Drew Page, a first-team All-State running back at Carrington this past year. Was a second-team All-Member as a junior when he rushed for over 1,000 yards for the Cardinals. Third down and short. There's the keeper, and it picks up a first down.
That time they put Zavalny at quarterback. And Zavalny's just an amazing athlete. I mean, everything that he does, and I know his coach has said that he's played out of position at quarterback, but there's that thing. You're going to put him back there, and he knows what to do with it back there.
Standout basketball player and baseball player as well. Part of that Park River baseball team who has now won 3 consecutive state championships.
Lance is back in there now as the quarterback.
There's the handoff. Knutson makes a couple guys miss, and he gets down to the 31-yard line. 11 yards on the first down carry for Knutson.
You know that somewhere along the way here, that's going to be a play-action pass, and they're going to air it out, whether it's whoever is that quarterback, but you got to believe that's going to be coming here somewhere. You know what? I can't say enough good things about what the West has done up front, or the East has done up front. They've just kind of manhandled them right now up front on the offensive line, except for that one series that was deep in their territory.
Leads a lot of time. Escapes the sack. He gets hit as he throws, and that pass is incomplete. Nearly picked off by Adam Powell on the line drive out of the hand of Jonah Leitz.
That's one of those that Paul's going to give me just a little bit of a heads up here. I might be able to catch that, and that was a sudden one that they're not used to. Now that time again, okay. Now that time the West got some pressure in on him and did a good job, and he's actually got to get rid of that a little bit earlier. You can't. You've got to understand. You got to let those guys run underneath it a little bit too out there.
First pass attempt of the game for Leitz, who came in for Forknell after the first 2 drives of the game.
Zavalny's in again.
He keeps it on the carry and scrambles his way down to the 26-yard line. He picks up about 4 or 5 yards to set up a third down and medium.
And I'm sure they're going to go for it. There's no real big advantage for them punting it here. He's come back in the game, and they're going to just, they're going to keep after it here. Just keep plugging forward here. Even if they don't get it now, they're going to just keep hammering at it.
Zavalny off, Leitz back in. He's got Knutson in the back beside him in a 3-wide receiver set. Leitz tries to take matters onto his own feet, and he's taken down at the 30-yard line.
That's one of those, again, Leitz has got to trust his receivers and just throw it out there. He's got a guy running a fade route out there, and he's just got to let that go, let him go run underneath it. And I'm sure that's what Kravotska's telling him. Hey, you got to trust it. Let it go. Don't wait for him to get behind him. Just let it go. I think that was Albright out there too, and somebody should have a little chemistry with it. Just let him run underneath it.
That was the final play of the first quarter. We're through 1 here at Cushman Field. It's 7-7 between the 11-man West and East All-Stars on Beck Sports. line as we're set to start the second quarter of our 11 Shrine Bowl All-Star game, the 46th annual Shrine Bowl game between the East and the West. Don't forget the 9-man game comes up immediately following our 11-man game. A lot of scoring early. The first 2 drives, and not even 2 full drives. It was 1 offensive drive for the East, and the West returns the kick 85 yards.
Yeah, you know, this will be interesting now what they do here on 4th down.
Leitz looks to Weisenberger on the near sideline, and he holds defenders at the 10-yard line. What a catch from the future Bison.
And I'm guessing that's what Coach Kravachka just talked to him about. Hey, guys, listen now, you got to trust yourself and trust your receivers. Throw it out there, let them make a play. Don't worry about it. You know, just throw it out there. And that time he did. Took his drop, set up, threw the ball. Zavalny's back in, so now, you know, of course, you got to be thinking when you see him coming in that you're looking for that quarterback power game or the old ISO game.
Zavalny does keep. Tries to get to the near sideline. He scampers in, but thought I heard a whistle before.
Yeah, they're I'm not sure what they've got, but looking at the referees. Believe the referees are talking. This is these guys come and they do this free of charge, and this crew I believe comes out of Devil's Lake. I'm pretty sure I know who they are, and you just can't thank those guys enough for coming to do this. They just get a big thank you, and that's about it. So I think what they're talking about by a little bit what I saw is I think they're talking about defensive offsides, and if it's defensive offsides, that's not unless he broke the plane. Either should have been stopped right away. Now they're coming over to talk to him about what. By the looks of it, I think that's what it is. It should have been stopped right away. And I think that's what they're trying to tell him. That's the one as a coach when you're on that sideline. And the old coach of you comes out, it's like, God, I really want to say something to these guys, but they're doing it free of charge. So I just can't. We never did get it. We never did get a signal. We never did get anything, and it looks like they just decide to replay it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Ball's at the 9-yard line again. Now they move it back to the 10, which was the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what that was, but that's called not real preseason here. Let's put it that way. Zavalny's still in there, quarterback.
Do this first down over again. Zavalny, like Coach just said, in the shotgun. Knut's in the back, right to his left. Zavalny, the quarterback keeper, sheds one tackler, and then he's tripped up at the 8-yard line.
Play before, they said, well, we'll give him a little play action. We'll fake it, and then I'll just keep it. Now it's just like, the heck with it. I'll just keep it. Let's just go straight ahead with this thing in the ISO play. But, there again, you can tell this is only having basically a week, and you don't do a ton of hitting or anything like that. You can tell these guys haven't did a whole lot of tackling because there's some arm tackles, and Zavalny just ran hard and got through a couple of those.
So it brings up a 2nd down and goal now from the 9-yard line. Zavalny sends Lorenz in motion, trips to the left. Zavalny keeps and stumbles for a pickup of 1 yard. For more on that stoppage of time, we'll go down to Corey Brooks.
Yeah, no, I'm over here on this west sideline, and you could hear it clear as day. The official blew the whistle. He thought he saw the ball come out, so he blows the whistle, and the West defenders immediately stopped hearing the whistle. So the officials decided to replay the down on the inadvertent whistle, and that's why the ball wound up exactly where it was.
It's a tough break for the East.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. On that last play, they did a great job of selling the fake. Knutson did a great job of selling the fake because Marcus Hochhalter is just chasing him down, and Zavalny just runs away from him the other way. Luckily, there's some guys in the backside to clean it up.
Leitz back in for a 3rd down and goal. He flips it to Knutson on the far sideline. And he is drug out of bounds at the 6-yard line, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. I think that's the first flag we've seen all day, and it comes in the second quarter.
Yeah. I'm going to guess. Yeah, that's what I thought. By what I thought happened, it might have been a face mask, and I think that's what they just signaled. Otherwise, I didn't think it was a late hit. It was just I think it was a face mask. You know, West does a good job of picking this up. Initially, there's nobody there, and they just do a good job of flowing. Trying to get some linemen out in front of it, but they just did a good job of flowing. And can't quite see. His helmet came off. So, yeah, there might have been a face mask there then if your helmet's coming off. That's true. Looking down here, watching these Shrine guys bring water, I think they've been pretty busy.
Yeah, they have. So the East gets half the distance to the goal, to the 2.5-yard line after Knutson got taken down at the 5.
Yeah, you got to. Zavalny's back in. You got to be thinking it's either going to be the play action one or just a straight quarterback ISO here. They spread them all out.
That's T.J. Johnson from Milner North Sargent.
That's a good job by the defensive line of the West. Plugged it up, came down hard. Don't let them get in there. Make them go one more time at least. See what happens.
Pickup of 1 yard from Johnson, and the ball just outside the 1-yard line now for the East, trying to punch it in for the second time today.
They bring the Zavalny out. Lines comes back in.
Sends Knutson out in motion. 3 wide receivers to the right, just 1 to the left. He looks to the left, and Weisenberger nearly had it, but great pass coverage from the West. Dawson Bieber from Beulah, the one that got the hit on Weisenberger.
You know, and here's one of those situations, yeah, you don't make it, but look where you put the West. Mm-hmm. You know, and in the last time that the West had the ball, they got some good pressure. So you know that East defensive line is just is really ready to get after it here.
That East defensive line already has 2 sacks in this game.
You know, and that's not a bad throw by Leitz there. I mean, he's throwing it up there where only his guy's going to catch it. That's just a great defensive play.
So it's Will Madler again under center, just his second drive today. Quick flip to the near sideline. And Olsen just gets across the goal line and out of bounds right around the 2. He picked up 1.
That was getting pretty iffy for a while back there. And I'm sure Coach Gibson's going, God, just get out of there. Just get out of that end zone, man.
That's Isaac Olsen from Oak Grove on the tackle. So Izzy Olsen taken down by Isaac Olsen.
You know, they have not really run any power plays here, and it'll be interesting to see if they come out and do it now.
Handoff. Just to get a little bit of breathing room for the West, and they do so with a 4-yard pickup down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, you know, that was just that. It's just a power play. They're bringing the guard around, leading up with the fullback, trying to make something happen. And you know, there again, you talked about East athleticism. They're athletic up front as well. They're not just big. They're not a huge team up there, but they got good athleticism, and that's causing some problems.
Joey Hornstein from Devils Lake, the first-team All-State running back. He had the 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That was his first carry of the game, and he gets 4 yards. 3rd down and 4. Hornstein again picks up about 4 more down to the 9.
Yeah, that's just a little play action. Bring the wing back around. Try to get him through that off-tackle power right there. Again, he gave up a little bit, but not enough to get a first down.
4th down and about 2 yards, but with it being so backed up against their own 10-yard line, a punt unit comes on for the West.
Yeah, this is one of those. Yeah, you don't even think about going for it. Let's just get it out of here, get a few yards out of it, and make them do something with it. Now just make sure you get down and cover this thing.
Taken at the 47-yard line by Zavalny. Tries to reverse Fields. Instead, he's taken down by a host of defenders at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty decent punt and decent coverage by in both aspects of it.
So really good starting field position for the East.
Zvolny does a good job of not letting the ball hit the ground, and then the West does a decent job of covering it. Yeah, they give a few yards, but you got to remember he punted it a fair decent, so that was good. So now it's the big question for me right now is, okay, is Coach Kravats going to come up and try to go up top right away and see if we can make something happen again, and let Leeds figure out now, okay, I've got him to trust him now. Let's just throw it up and see what happens.
He does stay with Leeds as the quarterback for this drive. Under 8 to go in the first half. Game tied at 7. Leeds fires down the far sideline, and he just overshoots his intended target, which is Jacob Halverson, his high school teammate from Central Cass.
Yeah, Halverson kind of stuttered there a little bit. I don't know if he wasn't sure he was going to throw it, but there again, Leeds just did a good job on that one. Let's throw it out there. Let's go make either my guy's going to make it or nobody's going to make it. So it wasn't successful, but it was still a good play.
Second and 10 now for the East. Scored on its opening drive of the game. Leeds flips it back to Weisenberger. He slices through the defense and dives ahead to the 36-yard line. He looks just shy of the first down marker.
Nice catch by Weisenberger. Goes up high and gets this. You watch him jump up right here. He does a good job going up and getting it. They get just a little push on the linebacker that's coming up and has read that, and it was just enough to spring him up to get 9 yards.
Game high third catch for Dawson Weisenberger. He's gone over 40 yards receiving now in the game for the East. Led the EDC with 33 catches this season in his senior year. Third and short. Handoff to Page. He's got the first down and plenty more up to the 30-yard line.
There's that same ISO look. They've run it a couple different times. Bring Page back in the backfield. Put him beside the quarterback, and now we're just going to run ISO. There again, and whether they've had time to put it all in, that there's got to be some play action off that where they're going to throw the ball too. But, that again, there's just a nice push by the guys up front.
5-yard pickup for Drew Page on his third carry of the game, and it's a new set of downs for the East. Leeds sends Page in motion. Here's a handoff. All the way down to the 21-yard line.
Nice little run. I think that was Treble out of East Grand Forks, and he did a nice little job there. They faked the jet sweep. He comes back on kind of, I don't want to call it a misdirection, but little wind-back look there, and does a nice job of keeping his feet moving. He's got those little bit of a shifty hips and does a nice job.
As of now, they've got it second down and inches, just shy, but they might bring out the chains for a measurement. No, they say first down.
I said earlier, I think these guys are from Devil's Lake. They're not. These are guys that are actually from Grand Forks right here. Like I said, other than having that one that they replayed, but they did it right. Hey, we made a mistake. Let's just replay the down. It was a dead ball, So that was a good job.
Ball at the 21-yard line for the East. Leeds rolls to his left, fires to the near sideline, but well over the head of Drew Page, and it's an incomplete pass.
There's one of those, too. You can tell that he hasn't spent a lot of time again with this. It's just you got to get those when you're rolling to your left as a quarterback, right at a cornerback, you got to get those shoulders turned and be able to bring that ball down, and that's just common of not getting those turned and just airs it out a little bit. But there again, Page is open just on that quick out. It's tough, if you're going to cover you got to give up something, and you got to give up the short one and go to recover and give up that long one.
And off to Treble again. Picks up 4 inside the 20-yard line.
Now, the difference between this one and the one before is just the way they blocked it up front. The action looks the same, just that they block it a little different up front. Now he stays flat. The other time it was a seal down, and they ran it the other way. Just a little bit different way that they blocked it, whether it's called that way or just ends up being that way because it's that zone look. But Treble does a good job of reading it.
Third time inside the red zone for the East here in the first half. Scored a touchdown their first time, got stopped at the 1, their most recent try. And that pass led Page just a little bit too much.
And Coach Gravatsky throws his arms up thinking, we got him up, we just overthrew him. Yeah, but there again, that you talked about earlier, the chemistry, but he just a little high. If he brings that down, he's got a chance. Fourth down. Interested to see what they do here.
It's 4th and 5 from the 16.
You know, and you notice Coach Kravachka doesn't send anybody in. Everybody's kind of, they got wristbands on. They're looking down at things. Yeah, I said he's probably going to take, he did take a timeout here.
He'll take the timeout, and we'll take it with them as well. 5:15 to go in the first half. Deadlocked at 7. The East trying to regain the lead. Seven, our score between the East and the West All-Stars in our 11-man game in our 46th annual Shrine Bowl game. The East scored on the opening drive of the game. They haven't scored since, but they're inside the red zone for the third time in this first half. 4th and 5, just over 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Leeds looking to pass on 4th and 5. He dumps it off. And it's for a loss of yards. The West comes up big again in the red zone.
Great coverage that time. I think that was Meshke out of Mandan on that one, and he just did a great job. Did a great job of coming up and taking care of that. You know, that's one of those things. That's one of those things that's not, you know, okay, yeah, you turn it over on downs, but what else are you going to, you know, you got to go for it there.
Keaton Meshke, the linebacker out of Mandan, a second-team All-State selection this past year. He's headed to Dickinson State to be a linebacker next year for the Blue Hawks. He comes up with a big play that turns the ball over and gives it back to the West offense.
Now, West has got to see what they can do with here. They haven't moved it much the last 2 times, so now they got to get something going here.
Madler under center to start the third drive of the game for the West. Hands off. And Izzy Olsen can't break loose. Loss of a couple.
Yeah, you know, again, East does a good job. Penetration. West has got to get that fixed, and they'll work on that. You know, at halftime here, there'll be some adjustments made too. But now it's just you got to find something. You got to get yourself some momentum. You know, this thing started out, looked like it was going to be high scoring. You know, like you said, East takes the ball, go downfield and score. West gets that kickoff return, and since then we haven't had any. So.
A 7.5-minute mark in the first down. The last time we had any scoring, more than a full quarter without any points scored. And pass incomplete on the attempt to the far sideline as Madler tried to connect with Dayton Smith out of Williston.
Yeah, you know, Coach Gibson here, I can about imagine what he's thinking is they say, okay, we got to get something going here. We tried to run game a little bit. We got to go to the short passing game. I don't know how comfortable he feels about dropping back and letting them throw because of the times that he did that. They got some pressure, got that big sack. So now again, this is a big third down play. Can you at least get something out of this? You got to get yourself going forward here if you're the West on offense.
3rd and 10. Trolley in motion to the far side. Madler rolls out that way. Feeling some pressure, heaves it across his body, and it was nearly picked off.
That was a great job by Sander, just playing center field and kind of reading. I think that was Sander, wasn't it, or was that?
Might have been Jostrom.
That's who it was.
Yep, Caden Jostrom, the defensive back out of Cheyenne.
Yep. And he just did a good job of just sitting back there and reading him, and was right there to break it up. Almost had the interception.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs now for the West offense. Under 5 minutes to play in the opening half. Good punt all the way back to the 46. Jostrom takes it across midfield. Tries to come to the near sideline, gets away from a tackler, and finally driven out of bounds by Dayton Smith around the 30-yard line. A return of 24 yards for Caden Jostrom.
What you may or may not have saw in that play was the east blocking. I mean, there's just a big pocket when he catches it here, because now watch it. Zavalny's coming up. He's looking for somebody. They're all looking for somebody, and there's some nice blocks on the outside here, and he just does a good job of finding a crease and going.
Michael Hall from Kindred also had a nice block on the far side as well to open that up for Jostrom. Forknell back under center for his first time since the second drive of the game, and he picks up about 5 yards down to the 25 on the quarterback keeper.
That's one thing about when you're in these all-star games is if you've got two quarterbacks, trying to figure out which one to play, and you want to give each one some time. And so in this case, they've kind of got three of them with Zavalny in there too. So, Coach Kravatska doing a good job of splitting it up here.
In the case of the East, they've got 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
Johnson. He's met the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Good pressure up front that time by the West defensive line.
Dylan Short, the Turtle Mountain product, comes in and makes the tackle. 3rd down and 6.
I don't know if I've seen, I guess I haven't watched real close, but, we talked about Stonecipher earlier. I don't know if I've seen him back in there.
I don't think he has been.
Well, I look across on the west sideline. They got somebody over there with their pads off with some ice on, too.
Here's a 3rd and 6 for Forknell. Page on some misdirection. Gets across the 20. He's got a first down. Stumbles inside the 5-yard line before Patrick Doan finally takes him down shy of the goal line.
Page is hurt. Page is down. But you watch this. It's just a handoff to the back, who turns around and hands it off to the wing coming back, and they kind of create a wall there, a little misdirection and a wall. And, they do a good job up front. But, looking at this injury, that's one of those things that you talked about earlier. You just don't want to see anybody getting hurt. The way he's holding that arm, I don't know if it's shoulder or if it's might be just a stinger the way he's moving it around now, but he does not want those trainers to look at him because he wants to keep playing.
Pickup of 22 on the run for Drew Page after being shaken up a little bit. And let's go down to Corey Brooks, who's got a little bit more on Canyon Stonecipher.
Coach Grockow, you had it exactly right. The guy with the ice on his shoulder is Canyon Stonecipher. He's been in pain since he sat down. Doubtful at this point, a little bit worse than they thought. And again, here in the All-Star game, want to be conservative. Make sure you keep these guys as healthy as possible, obviously.
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just something you don't want to see. See it any time, but especially during an All-Star game like this, you don't want to see anybody get hurt.
So Drew Page goes to the sideline, a little bit shaken up after his 22-yard run. T.J. Johnson from Milner North Sargent comes in at the running back spot. Zavalny, the quarterback keeper, charges his way across the goal line, and the East has the lead.
That was just determination by Zavalny. I mean, there was a stalemate basically at the line of scrimmage, and Zavalny says, "No, I'm going. You're not stopping me." And he's done that for a long time up there at Park River, whether he was at the quarterback or running back or receiver, whatever it was, when he played a little bit all over. He's just that kind of kid. Just did a good job.
As Coach said, playing him at the quarterback spot this year was playing him out of position, but they had to run all their plays through him, and you've seen him in the run game today here in the Shrine Bowl. He converts from 4 yards out, and it gives the East the lead again. Weisenberger's kick is through again. It's 14-7. The East regain the lead with 3:14 to go in the first half. 50-yard quarterback keeper from Adam Zovalny to take a 14-7 lead with 3:14 to go here in the first half. And Coach, both offenses a little bit of trouble throughout this first half moving the ball. The East picked it up there on that drive to score to make it 14-7, but the West has had back-to-back 3-and-outs. They got to get something going here in the final 3 minutes.
Yeah, you think about it, that their touchdown came off that kick return. So, again, you gotta find something here that gets to work, so you got something to build on at halftime here.
From the 9-yard line on the return, Patrick Doan makes his way across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and that's where the West starts things.
Much better job that time. That deep kick up the middle is a nice kick, but the first time they didn't cover the middle. This time, give the East a lot more credit that they stepped up and did a good job of covering that middle. So again, Madler's been a quarterback the whole time here. I've been on these things where you end up with just one quarterback, just out of necessity, but got to get something going here a little bit.
They turn to Hornstein to carry on the first play of the drive, and he picks up about 5 to the 36.
Doesn't surprise me a little bit that Coach Gibson has said, okay, we're gonna go to the power game right now. That was always his bread and butter. And when he got Madler, he's got quarterbacks. He'll spread it out and do some things, but his bread and butter is getting that eye and run the power game, and he's really, really good at teaching it. So it doesn't surprise that that's what he's come out and said, well, that's what we're going to look to start doing here.
He's a pretty good guy doing it the last couple of years, too, and Izzy Olsen.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hornstein again, he gets the first down near midfield as he picks up about 12 on the carry, the longest run of the day for the Devils Lake running back.
There's another one of those kids, we talked about earlier. He had the kickoff return for a touchdown. He's just, you got those kids, and Coach Gibson does a good job of using them.
He was able to drag Michael Hall for about 2 or 3 yards before Hall brought him down at the 48-yard line.
Second flag of the game.
Yep. And it's a holding against the West, so erase that 12-yard run.
Where? Oh, there. Yeah, and it's a point of infraction, so that was back. And that was back behind the line of scrimmage, so it ends up being actually more than a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, it goes for about 12 yards back to the 24. So instead of being at the 48, the West is backed up all the way to the 24 now for a second down and about 17. Matt Trolley was able to make a man miss, but he definitely didn't make the second guy miss.
No, and the guy that really blows that play up is Curry from Langdon. That's the one senior Langdon had, and he's a good ball player. They win a state title, and they've got a bunch of underclassmen coming back. But Curry blew that up, and the back knew it. He stopped quick. He was supposed to keep going. He stopped quick.
That was Phil Hagan out of EEK that put on the big hit on Trolley. Third down and a long way to go for Madler, who looks to his former teammate in Trolley, who makes the catch at the 45-yard line, and that's a first down for the West.
Yeah, there's what you talked about, chemistry. If you watch this, he's throwing the ball before he ever makes the break. If you watch off to the side now, you can tell, you can see a little bit here. He's throwing the ball. Now he's just coming out of his break, and the ball's right there. It's not like, okay, I'm going to see him break, then I'm going to throw it. That's what we talked about earlier with chemistry. And as a quarterback, you got to just trust your receivers and let them make the plays. 3
of the 4 catches or completions for Will Madler have been catches from his high school teammate in Trolley. This time he takes a shot to the far sideline, and it's just a little bit past his intended target.
Yeah, and that was Hayden Lee out there, and Hayden I think that was Hayden that he was going to, and Hayden slowed down just a little bit, not sure, and he's got to remember, Madler's got an arm. Hayden, you got to trust it, you got to run and run underneath it.
And the warm-ups today, Will Madler was throwing the football about 55 yards down the field, so quite an arm on that guy.
Yeah, there's a few guys out here on this field today that can throw the football a little ways.
Second down and 10 from the 44-yard line, 1:44 to go in the first half. The West trying to put points on the board before halftime. Madler escapes some pressure, throws it over the middle. He connects. Oh, no, he doesn't. Olsen drops it at the 40-yard line.
Olsen's got, of all guys, here's Olsen, the guy that, he's got a few balls from this guy before, and he drops it. But the one thing I want to say about that is you look how much time the West gave them this time. They did a great job, and maybe just a little bit of that heat and a little bit of fatigue is starting to set in, too, on that east side, too, on those linemen. Us big boys, we aren't exactly heat lovers all the time.
Temperatures in the mid-80s here in Grand Forks today. Third and 10 now for Madler. Overshoots Trolley, and it's now fourth down.
But again, back to that chemistry thing, that's just one of the things you got to figure out in those kind of situations. That's where he's going to look. I got confidence in him. I know what he's going to do. He knows what I'm going to do. And again here, as much as you're on the West, you're thinking, God, let's go for it. We want to keep going. You can't do that here. You got to punt it down there. And it'll be interesting now if they talk to Hochhalter about, hey, now remember, you got some time here. Go ahead and kick this, but kick it to the sideline. Let it go out of bounds. We don't care. Just kick it to the sideline. So I know that's some of the things that we've talked about, but it's tough as a kid. They're used to that pressure coming all year long, and so it's just I'm going to just boom it. And there he booms one.
Booms it all the way into the end zone. In fact.
Yeah, so it's going to come back to the 20, but you look at that. That's a 56-yard kick. Yeah. When it goes in the end zone like that. There's one of those things too. You let it hit the ground, and now it gains extra yards. It ends up being a disadvantage for the West. But if he catches that, he's got it to 10, but now he's got some room. But by not letting it go in the end zone, it goes all the way back. So
first bounce was only at the 10, so that went 46 yards through the air.
Like I said, he is definitely a better kicker than his father is.
Minute and a half to go in this first half.
Now this becomes a big thing for the West defense. Hey, we don't want to let them get another score here. We're going to get the ball to start the second half. We did move the ball a little bit. Yeah, that holding penalty, but we recovered from that. So you want to get this is a big stop here for the West if they can get it.
Three wide receivers all to the left for Fortnell. Instead, he hands it off, and Knutson spins down to the 24-yard line.
And in the same token here, I know Coach Kravacka's going, okay, we want to get a score in here, but we don't want to start burning timeouts real quick, so we give them the ball back and give them a chance too. So I'm sure as if they get a first down here, so that he's going to look to use some timeouts and try to put the score up on the board on that side of it too.
6 carries, 36 yards for Knutson now. Clock ticks under 1 minute. Back to Knutson they go. This time he picks up only a couple before being taken down by Chase Doctor.
So now it's one of those things as a coach, you're starting to think, all right, now let's see. We're under a minute. Do I throw it? Do I run it? If I run it, now I can call time. If we get it and I get the first down, I can call timeouts. If we don't get timeout, if I throw it and it's incomplete, you have given them a chance. But, as well as your defense has been playing, I wouldn't be scared to throw it here. Let's put it that way.
Third down and 3 to go. Knutson on a third down and 2. He stood up near the line of scrimmage, and he's shy of the first down marker.
Nice job by the West defensive line. And that was one of those things I thought maybe the West would think about calling a timeout to make them punt it, but saw Coach Gibson's over there. He's trying to talk to his guys about getting the offense going, so he might have been a little preoccupied with that.
Let's go down to the sidelines where Corey Brooks is with the East head coach and Josh Kravitchka.
Thank you, Noah, here with Coach Kravacka. And, Coach, defensively, let's start it there. You guys were absolutely dominant up front in that half. What was the key to that success?
I mean, like you said, we were dominant defensively up front. We were getting after the quarterback. We know their quarterback's really talented. We got to stay after them up front, and, we're shutting down their run game in the first half. So, heck of a job defensively. Besides that kickoff return, we've been pretty solid.
On the offensive side, you guys have run a ton of different packages and substitutions. How difficult is that on just 1 week's practice?
Well, the kids have picked it up fast. I mean, when you get good football players that know what they're doing, they'll pick it up fast, and they've been running it pretty well so far.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Back to you, Noah.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Josh. We're at halftime of our 11-man game. 14-7, the East scored on their final offensive possession of the first half to take a 7-point lead into the halftime break.
When it comes to your business, insurance answers should come easily from an agent you know and trust, someone just down the road, not across the country. Like a Nodak agent, a local professional who knows North Dakota and businesses like yours. So if it's an agribusiness, your commercial property, or your customer's kitchen table, the answers are right in front of you. Get the protection your business needs with the service you expect. Nodak Insurance Company. Agents with answers.
Quit eating your burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Follow your instincts to B-dubs for the new All-American Cheeseburger. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. And knock that baby down with a frosted beer at the bar, just like the sports gods intended. The new All-American Cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
14-7 our score at halftime as we welcome you back to Cushman Field in Grand Forks. It's the 46th annual Shrine Bowl game highlighting the best players across the state of North Dakota. Jump right into it here with our first half highlights. And, Coach, it didn't take long for this East team to get on the board right away. It was a 5-yard keeper from Jesse Fortnell, the quarterback here, on the option to get the first points of the game.
Yeah, and that's all set up earlier in the game by them running their little inside zone play, and they have to bite hard on that, and he keeps it and gets in the end zone.
Talk about not taking much time. That's what the West did, answering back that 7-yard touchdown run from Jesse Fortnell on the ensuing kickoff. 85 yards to the house from Joey Hornstein.
Yeah, Joey finds the crease, gets a couple of good blocks up front. East kind of is worried about the sideline more in the middle, and Joey just exploits it.
That stands as the only score of the game so far for the West, down 14-7 as Hornstein goes 85 yards to the house the very first time the West touches the football. We were in a stalemate for a while. It was 7-7 for most of that entire first half, but then finally the East gets back on the board on their last full offensive possession with a 4-yard keeper. It took a second charge from Adam Zavolny, but he gets in.
Yeah, that's one of the luxuries of having three quarterbacks in essence, and Zavolny being one of them. You can put him in, it becomes a power game, and he just did a good job. And I'm going to give we talked about how the East has moved the ball a lot. They're going to give the West some credit about stopping them here towards the end, and now they got the ball first. So now you found a little momentum the last time you had the ball. Now can you capitalize on it? And knowing Coach Gibson and his staff, they're trying to make some corrections or whatever they think they can, adjustments that they can make to make it work for them.
14-7 our score here at halftime. The East on top of the West through our first 24 minutes of play here from Cushman Field. When we come back, it's time to start the second half on Beck Sports.
it to home. He's hit at the line again, but this time he spins out, shakes another tackle, and stays on his feet across the 40.
Quit eating your burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Follow your instincts to B-dubs for the new All-American Cheeseburger. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. And knock that baby down with a frosted beer at the bar, just like the sports gods intended. The new All-American Cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
At halftime of our 11-man Shrine game, it's the 46th annual Shrine game. Coach, what happened here?
I'm not exactly sure if he caught the edge of the cart when he jumped off to get in line, but, nice recovery. Saved the fez, and he's in good shape, Those Shrine guys are just great guys. I mean, they do a wonderful job of this thing.
14-7, the East on top of the West. For much of this game, it was 7-7. Almost throughout the entire first half, the East scored with about 2 minutes to go on a 4-yard run from Adam Zavolny to get us to where we are right now, 14-7. You mentioned it right before we went to break last time. The West gets the football to start things. What do they need to do offensively to just get things going a little bit?
I think you had the key at the very beginning. You got to find some balance here, and they've got to get back to having some balance. They tried that. And they've got to get their run game going a little bit to help their pass game. Defensively, honestly, they've done a decent job. As much as the East has had the ball, they've done a decent job in this heat and the spread offense they got to face.
So the East gets the football to start things. Have had some trouble at times moving the football, but the best they moved it was probably their last drive of that first half, getting the ball to around midfield. Their only score of this game so far is an 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Devils Lake product Joey Hornstein on the first, not even possession of the game for the West. It was after the East scored on the first drive of the game, and the ensuing kickoff was taken 85 yards back to tie things at 7 apiece. Since then, a score from the East has made it 14-7, and we'll go down to the sidelines now with Corey Brooks, who's with Mark Gibson.
Thank you, Noah. As you said, here with Mark Gibson and Coach, we'll start with the defensive side of the ball. You guys did a great job in the red zone. How do you keep that momentum here in half two?
Biggest thing is offensively, we got to do something to keep them off the field, and we haven't done that at all. And I've been very pleased with our offensive line up front, and those kids have got to do a better job blocking. I think the other thing is our quarterback's got to play a little bit better. So those combinations, those two things, keeps the long half for our defense, and hopefully we can get some drives. We got to get some momentum going for us.
You talk about that offensive side, and especially up front, they did an outstanding job from a defensive line standpoint. What adjustments do you make here in half two to try and get that offense rolling?
The biggest thing is we got to find some kids that are going to want to grind it out a little bit. And, I think the one thing is we got some kids kind of in awe a little bit shocked right now. So hopefully they respond second half.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Mark, as well. And the West trying to tie this game up after being down 14-7 here to start the second half. And something tells me if there's one guy who's going to be tough on the quarterback, it's his own head coach and Mark Gibson.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Knowing Coach Gibson, it doesn't surprise me that he's kind of calling Madler out there saying we got to get a better quarterback play, because that would be Coach Gibson. Great coach, friend of mine, and I think he does a great job.
Mm-hmm. He led Bismarck High to an undefeated season and a state championship this past year. That was a fun championship game. Century had the football chance to win the game on the final play of the game, and the quote-unquote Philly special they tried, but couldn't get the win. Bismarck able to win and be your 2018 AAA state champs. That kick goes through the back of the end zone, so the West starts the first drive of half number 2 at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I'm sure Hornstein's thinking, do that again. I want to grab this thing and see if I can run another one back. But, that's not the worst thing in the world. That kick was fairly long. And there again, we talked about it before. Don't let it hit the ground. And when it hits the ground, things happen you don't want to necessarily see happen. But, so now, we talked about it. Coach Gibson talked about it. You got to find some guys that want to grind it out and make it happen here. So this will be big. And like I said, I'm sure he had a talk with Mr. Madler about what to look for and what he wants done.
The East utilized 3 quarterbacks in half number 1. The West stayed with Will Madler all the way through, and here to start the second half, he's back under center again and gives it off to his former high school teammate, and Izzy Olson, who hops down to the 27-yard line for a 7-yard pickup.
You know, and if you listen really, Coach, what Coach Gibson said, he said, I'm not dissatisfied with our offensive line. Mm-hmm. We just have to get something going with them, and that's his way of saying, okay, guys, I have confidence in you. Here we go. Let's play power football. Let's go at them, and he did a good job.
It was Adam Zavolny who came in to make that tackle. Zavolny headed to UND next year. Back to Olson once again. And he's near the 30-yard line. Looks like he's just in front of that first down marker.
Yeah, nice job again. Like you said, it's going to be some grind-out football. It's not that he's not going to throw the ball at all here, but he's going to try to establish some things up front and get some things done. And, you know, you talk about Madler being a quarterback. I know we had it one year where the other quarterback just ended up being that he didn't make it, and all of a sudden we were down to one quarterback in the game, so you don't have a whole lot of choice but to play one, and that may or may not have been what happened here.
New set of downs now for the West. Madler, play action, rolls out to the near sideline, fires on the run, and it's just through the hands of his intended target in Dalton Gullickson.
That's one of those where you look at it from, you think, okay, quarterback, bring that down, it's going to be a catch. But Gullickson's thinking to himself, this is a catch I probably should have made. I touched it, I should probably have it. You know, so it's one of those things they're talking about blaming themselves rather than the other guy.
Gullickson, another one of a high school teammate of Will Madler. So 7 guys on this West team from Bismarck High. That's got to be a pretty cool feeling for Mark Gibson to be able to coach 7 of his guys in this all-star game.
Yeah, and it could be, and a lot of times what it is you have guys that just can't make it, so then you pick up who you can, and Coach Gibson know they're right there and could pick them up.
Madler looks to throw again. Second down and long. He heaves it towards the center of the field, and that was nearly picked off.
I think that wasn't that Jastrom again?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Jostrom almost had an interception in the first half, and that one he'd probably tell you he should have had.
There's one of those things where when you look at that, that's one of those things where they're pulling their tackle or their guard to come back, and he's assuming that Madler's going to roll a little more, and Madler doesn't, and that's what causes the problem there because he's waiting for the guy to come to him.
A couple incompletions in a row from Will Madler has set up a 3rd down and long from the 31. All 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen for Madler. Madler escapes some pressure, rolls out to his left, buys a little bit more time. Madler over the trolley.
Did he catch it? He
caught it. What a catch by Trolley at the 44-yard line.
Yeah. Madler's just running around back there trying to create some time. Trolley just trying to find an opening where I can see him and get it to him. And, nice catch. Goes down and gets it. Nice job. Now is Bismarck, yeah. Is the West, I'm thinking of Coach Gibson. Is the West going to come back out and try to pound at it like they did that first series? They did all throw in the last one. Now what are they going to do?
4 catches, 61 yards for Matt Trolley. They go back to the ground with Izzy Olson. Olson skips his way across the first down marker down to the 44-yard line into East territory.
Yeah, you notice the East guys now on the East side, you see mass substitutions, and that's just one of those things with those big guys. We got to keep the guys up front fresh, as I'm sure they're thinking. Let's get them off the field, get the other big guys on the field. This heat's taking its toll.
Olson, a first-team All-State running back at Bismarck this past year, rushed for over 1,000 yards and led the WDA by more than 200 rushing yards.
That's just a straight old dive play. I laughed. I looked at the fullback. The fullback gets in his spot there, and he turns around and looks around like, yeah, there is nobody behind me. So Max goes, it's got to be my turn.
That's the first carry for Aaron Mack, the Jamestown product.
And just like Coach Gibson said, they got some linemen now that are really stepping up, and they're trying to establish themselves up front.
2nd down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Gullickson sent in motion by Madler. Here's Hornstein. He's got a first down to the 33.
I'm giggling to myself because I remember coaching Shrine games and thinking this before, but you got you got Hornstein and Izzy Olsen back there, and you're saying, okay, how would I love it if this was a regular season? I got both of those guys in my backfield. I could just take turns, and both good running backs. Mm-hmm. But you got to give Mack and the offensive line. They're causing some holes here. Mack's doing a good job at fullback.
Back to Hornstein, led by Mack, the fullback, and a pickup of 3 to the 30.
And those fullbacks, they don't get enough credit. I think the one year that I was coaching with Coach Gibson, and he had a young man from Bismarck High by the last name of Seibel who played linebacker all year long. We brought him in, and we needed him to play fullback. He played fullback for us in that game and just did an outstanding job. And Coach Gibson says afterwards, maybe I should have played him at fullback during the year. But in his offense, the fullback does a lot of stuff that you just don't see, and Mack's doing a good job.
Here's Olsen. Brings up a 3rd and short after a 4-yard gain.
That's just kind of a little, I don't know if you want to call it end around, but a little counter play. And there again, we're gonna block down. We're gonna pull guys. Max got to step to the backside, takes care of the backside, and causes a crease. So now you're in that situation. Okay, it's 3rd and 3, but you're really thinking, I got 2 downs to make this. So. What are we going to do here? Here comes the power eye look. It's going to be power football, I'm guessing.
Here's Olsen. Needs 3 yards, and he got hit at the 28, which is where the first down marker is. It'll be interesting to see if they give it to Olsen or not.
That's one of those. He just gets tripped up. If he doesn't get tripped up, I think he's got a lot more.
He needed 3, and he got about 3 plus a few more inches.
We talked about how important it was to get something going. Well, now they got it going. Now West has to figure out how to score here. I know that's what that's the other part. Okay, guys, we got the offense going. Now we got it. Now we got to finish it. Now, don't be satisfied with just getting here. We got to go do some finishing.
30 yards on the ground now for Izzy Olsen. Most of those have come here on this opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Back to Hornstein in the backfield, and he's inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Picks up about 4 yards.
Yeah, and again, here comes that power eye look. We're going to power it right at you. Now we got some people running back and forth here, so it'll be interesting to see, does he stay in the power eye? And don't worry, Coach Gibson's got things he's going to throw the ball out of that power eye as well, especially with Madler, their quarterback. Not to say that he's going to do that now, but he's got that in his repertoire.
By far the best, the West has moved the football all day long. It comes on this opening possession of the 3rd quarter, about 5 minutes into this 3rd quarter. Ornstein tries to get to the outside. He gets away from a tackler, but no, they say he's down at the 22 and loses a couple.
They called him with his knee down. He doesn't have that knee. They don't call him with a knee down here. It's going to be, yeah, he did too. Good call by the official.
So that's a 3-yard loss for Hornstein, who if he wouldn't have had that knee down, he had a lot of space in front of him to keep going. But instead, a 3rd down and 8 for the West.
Now back in that shotgun.
Madler looks Trolley's way on the near sideline. He catches it at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, that was kind of a little bit of a wounded duck by Madler, but Trolley still does a great job going up and catching the football. Trolley has definitely impressed me today. He does a nice job.
5th catch for Matt Trolley. They were definitely playing that 3rd down as 4 down.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
So now picking up about 5 yards. It sets up a 4th down and much more manageable. Need about 3 yards down to the 14-yard line.
Timeout here? Yep, timeout here.
A timeout taken by the West right before that play clock ran out. We'll take the timeout with them. 14-7, the East leads, but the West charging in the red zone.
When it comes to your business, insurance answers should come easily from an agent you know and trust, someone just down the road, not across the country. Like a Nodak agent, a local professional who knows North Dakota and businesses like yours. So if it's an agribusiness, your commercial property, or your customer's kitchen table, the answers are right in front of you. Get the protection your business needs with the service you expect. Nodak Insurance Company. Agents with answers.
This telecast on Beck is presented by the following: Bell Bank, Dakota Community Bank and Trust, Farmers Union Insurance,
Back to Cushman Field here in Grand Forks. It's 14-7. The East leads by a touchdown, but Will Madler and company for the West inside the red zone here on a 4th down and short. Madler with a lot of room. Flag comes in. Madler takes off. He's got the first down for now, but that flag might be coming back.
That was a holding back there. You can see him, guys looking to escape, and the offensive lineman saying, "You're not going to get my quarterback."
So the holding does go against the West.
Yeah, he grabs him. He's just not going to make sure that he's not going to get the quarterback. Other than that, they gave Madler time, but of course because of the hold. But Madler does the right thing there, though. I'm going to take off and I'm going to scramble. I'm going to make sure we got the first down. So now you're at the 35-yard line. Okay, Coach Gibson, what are you thinking? I know you're going to go for it here, but, we got to get something out of it.
Need about 21 yards here. Four wide receivers set. Both running backs, Olsen and Hornstein, lined up as wide receivers for the West.
I'm not sure what they're. The referee ran over to that sideline and was talking to Coach Gibson about something or what the deal was, but.
Let's see what Madler can pull here on a 4th down and long. He dances through. He's running out of time. He's all the way back to his 40-yard line. And it's caught by one of his linemen. Carson Kennelly, the Jamestown product, caught that ball and said, "This is my time to shine."
I'm going to show you I got a hand, and I'm going to show you I can run with it. And that's just instinctive. I mean, you can't tell the offensive lineman not to catch it. And they do it decent. They do an okay job of giving them time. But and the first thing that Coach Gibson's telling Madler right there is, you got to throw that ball. You can't give up 20, basically 20 yards there or more. He's going to have to give him probably about 25 yards, and all of a sudden now you've given it back deep in your own territory to the east.
You may throw that flag and take that back, but to Carson Kennelly, you're not taking that catch back, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And we have it on film, Carson, so don't worry. I think him and Holkout, they're rooming together next year, so I'm sure that'll be a conversation next year.
Yeah, Hochhalter moved from Carrington his sophomore year, and one of the very first people that he met was Carson Kennelly. Became really good friends, and now they're heading to NDSCS next year to play football and rooming together as well.
Yeah, you look at that. That's basically a 25-yard. If you just throw that up and it's incomplete, okay, you saved yourself 25 yards. Now East has got it in the West territory, and it's a heck of a lot shorter field. You're talking 39 yards versus 65 yards.
So now the East takes over. Forknell in the gun. He gives to Knutson on the first play, who spins off one tackler and finds a little bit of running room. He's got a first down, and he's got a whole lot more. Knutson into the end zone for a touchdown.
That was Knutson. I mean, that was all Knutson. He just, but we got a flag on the play.
We'll see if that might come back or not.
Yeah.
But look at this shiftiness, elusiveness from Knutson.
Coach Kravachka talking to the referee, and then he turns around and throws his arm, but he's laughing when he's doing it. I think they're calling a block in the back is what they're calling there. Coaches on the East coaches on the sideline, Kozel and Kravachka are just laughing about it. So is Olson, and those three coaches are down there laughing about it.
That brings back what would have been a 44-yard touchdown run, and instead now the ball at the 47-yard line.
Yeah. So now we just line up and do it again. Page is at that wing back.
He's sent in motion now to the other side. Fortnell with the pump fake got away from one defender, and he manages to get back to the line of scrimmage and then pick up a couple more down to the 45.
He was looking back that time. I think it was for Albright back there. And he kind of had him open, but there's no pressure coming. He's got to pull it down. Because he was looking to throw back to Albright, but and again that pressure took care of that for him. So now the West has to look to you got it back because of the penalty. Now can you finish it?
Second down and 16 from the 45. Fortnell tosses to Page, but it was a little behind him, incomplete.
Again, that was that timing thing, but you got to give the West defensive line here some credit. You're playing without Stonecipher, and you got to believe that he thought of as being a big part of that. So hats off to those guys. They've been doing a good job.
Stonecipher, a first-team All-State defensive end, and somebody that Mark Gibson tabbed as one of the best defensive linemen he ever had come through the Bismarck program. Said he had a great motor, great frame, and all around he just makes plays when you need him to. He hasn't been on the field since about the second drive of the game. Fortnell's pass was nearly picked off, but they're going to get pass interference.
Yeah, they're going to call pass interference here, and I think if you watch it, he just runs into him. It's not like he goes to hit him. It's that they ran into him. It wasn't that the defense went and hit him.
It was intended for Weisenberger, who's led the East today in catches, and Seth Fahey was the culprit on that pass interference.
Yeah, like I said, that was one of those things where that's unfortunate. But that's the way it needs to be called. The ball he gets hit when the ball's in the air. That's the way it is. Coach Weidler's over there wanting to know why it is what it is. He's asking for an explanation. I think Coach Weidler was the D coordinator on that for the West, so he wants to know why that was. Like I said, it was one of those things where he just ran into the linebacker. It wasn't that the linebacker went and hit him on purpose. But now it's third down, so big stop. Zavalny's back in.
Zavalny scored the last touchdown for the East. This time he picks up the first down, and he's led by his offensive line all the way inside the 20, and he's still on his feet. Zavalny finally drugged down at the 15-yard line. The quarterback sneak goes for 15 yards for Zavalny.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. They got him bottled up, and it's just the linemen do a good job of keeping their feet going and get a little momentum, and then the rest is just Adam Zavalny, he's making it happen.
Longest run of the game for Adam Zavalny goes for 15 yards, and the East once again find themselves inside the red zone, up by a touchdown with under 3.5 to play in the third quarter.
Jet sweep. Oh, good job. That's Hochhalter. Hochhalter's just fighting upfield, fighting off the block, and makes the play. Nice job by Marcus.
Hochhalter, who got into the backfield immediately to take down Drew Page. That's a loss of 5 yards all the way back to the 20.
That's two former teammates.
Yeah.
back a few years ago. You know, the West has got to feel a little bit snake bit here. You know, it was that penalty, that holding penalty when they had that first down when Madler scrambled. Now another defensive pass interference penalty. Now they just really got to recover from those.
Forknell rolls out to his right, fires on the run, and it's caught at the 10-yard line.
That was a good job by Forknell. Waiting for the kid, letting him run his route, but throwing it actually just a little bit before he gets there, and turn around, the ball's right there.
That was Jacob Halverson, the future North Dakota State Bison. He's headed to Fargo to play football for NDSU next year, a first-team All-State wide receiver at Central Cass this past year. First ever player from Central Cass to go to North Dakota State to play football since NDSU bumped up to the Division I level. 3rd down and 6 from the 11. It's a 9-yard completion between Forknell and Halverson. Pocket collapsing quickly on Forknell, and he just heaves it past the back of the end zone.
That's the sign of a smart quarterback right there. Okay, pressure comes. I got a reverse field. I still feel the pressure. Let's just throw it over his head. I'm not just going to throw it away. I'm going to throw it away on purpose, but I'm going to throw it over his head so it can't be intentional grounding. That was a nice job by him.
Forknell was the EDC Player of the Year this year, a second-team All-State quarterback. He's headed to play for a really good Division II program in Minnesota State Mankato.
Yeah, they've had a lot of great tradition at that D2 level, and I like what I see out of him, a little bit I've seen out of him, so it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Fourth and 6, he sends Page in motion. Fires to the end zone. It's caught by Weisenberger. Touchdown for the East.
Yeah, it's just sneaking Weisenberger up the middle, let him find a crease, sit down in the crease. Forknell finds him and does a good job.
4th catch of the game for Weisenberger. This one goes for a touchdown, and now Jesse Forknell has a touchdown on the ground and a touchdown through the air for the East.
Watching Forknell when he plays, you can tell he takes his pre-snap reads. He knows what he's looking for. Does a nice job. Okay, now West, like I said, 2 big penalties really hurt you. Now you really got to come back and say, okay, offense, let's go again. Let's get it back here. And like I said, these extra points are always interesting.
Weisenberger, after catching the touchdown, set to kick. And this one goes wide to the right. He's 2 for 3 on the extra points. 1:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. The East has its largest lead of the game. Welcome back to the beautiful Cushman Field here in Grand Forks, and it's 20-7, the East on top of the West after an 11-yard touchdown pass from Jesse Forknell to Dawson Weisenberger to extend the lead to 13, the largest the East has enjoyed the lead today. West moved the football really well in their first drive of this 3rd quarter. Here's Hornstein from the 5. He's already got an 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That one returned 32 yards to the 37.
The kid does a nice job of kicking off. It's only like about a 2-step or 3-step kick, whatever you want to call it. But he gets a good boot into it, and you got to give Got to give Hornstein some credit, too. He does a nice job of returning them when he gets his hands on them.
Let's go down to Corey Brooks for more on that last touchdown for the East.
Yeah, just a funny story on that score and some players exceeding expectations. Right before the snap, Coach Kravachko was screaming for a timeout. He doesn't get it, and it turns into a touchdown. Weisenberger in the end zone. Guys getting it done on the All-Star field.
Thanks for that, Corey. I think Coach will take the touchdown instead of the timeout.
Yeah, sometimes as coaches, you just got to keep your mouth shut. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that's the way we drew it up. That's it right there. A little confusion back there. Mack runs into him, and they still get a yard out of that last play. But, again, just trying to establish something up the middle.
Under a minute to play here in the third quarter. Quick flip to Trolley on the far sideline, and he gets pushed out of bounds at the 43, picks up 4 yards.
Trolley's done a nice job of that. They've given him a cushion. There's nobody out there blocking for him. He's just one-on-one, make him miss, use your quickness. Has done a nice job. And it's not like you're not going against some good players out there on the outside. That time that was Hall again, and Hall's a good football player. Does a really nice job.
A couple third down conversions from Mark Gibson's club on that first drive of this third quarter. They need another one here to start this drive. They go to Olsen. The All-State running back slices his way across midfield and down to the 46 for a first down.
Good job by the offensive line. Gets a nice little surge. Gets a little what we call a G call where they're pulling a guard up inside of it, and does a nice job.
41 yards on the ground for Izzy Olsen.
Now, this series, as I hate to say it, it's not like it's a do-or-die thing, but, boy, you sure would like to see a score here.
30 seconds to go in the third quarter, so more than likely Coach Gibson's going to have a chance to talk to him, too, in between the third and fourth quarters. Madler throws, connects with his favorite target of the day, and Trolley. And they get a pickup of about 4 yards down to the 42, which is more than likely our final play of the third quarter.
He had Gullickson coming across there too, but let's put it this way: you've had that chemistry with Trolley. Yeah. It's pretty tough not to take that one.
Clock runs out in the third quarter. It's 20-7. The East got a touchdown in the third quarter. The West trying to answer back and make this a one-possession game again. We've got 1 quarter left at Cushman Field. (20-7) the score. The East on top of the West here in our 46th annual Shrine Bowl game. The West driving again. They drove it into the red zone last time, but couldn't come away with any points. And you said it right before we went to break at the end of the third quarter. It almost seems like they got to get a score here.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is. He's got a wall out in front of him here.
Olsen able to squeak through down to the 30-yard line, and that's a first down.
That play right there, that's a staple of Coach Gibson's offense, a little toss sweep or whatever you want to call it. And you hadn't seen that all game, and all of a sudden he comes out with it here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they do a nice job of sealing it. You'll see they do a good job of blocking, take care of the edge right here if we get it. And, just that's Olsen again, being Olsen.
1st and 10 from the 30. To Hornstein, who's hit right away. Jude Lawson out of Harvey Wells County with the tackle behind the line.
Yeah, Jude comes hard and just does a good job of picking him, just does a good job of being in the backfield. You know, they talk about you're not supposed to blitz. You're not, you know, I mean, if you blitz, you got to show it and all that stuff. That's just reaction. I mean, you can't. You could call it a blitz, but that's just reaction. And that's just a defensive lineman getting free.
2nd and 14 after the 4-yard loss. Madler able to just snag that high snap. He goes to the far side with Trolley, who's got a first down, and a flag came in on that play as well.
That's going to be another holding call, I believe. You know, the West has really gotten bit by penalties. If they could just stay away from the penalties, they'd be, you know, that's really the second half.
It does go as a holding against the West, so you can erase that 15-yard pitch and catch between Madler and Trolley, and it backs up the West even more. Well, that's exactly what happened last drive. They got inside the red zone,
right,
and then penalty after penalty pushed them back to the point where they were back at their own 40 at one point.
Right. You know, and the last penalty they had in that one was illegal touching, but, you know, so now again, you got to recover from that. You know, you've got it's second down, so you've got a little time here, but you know you're talking you need 25 yards now, so in three plays to get it. So
4 wide receivers set for Madler. It's Mack, the fullback, next to him. Madler finds Hornstein out of the backfield, who picks up a good chunk of that lost yardage down to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, you know, nice. You know, it's not like we got to have it all right now. So now it's third down. Now you basically got 2 downs to pick up 13 yards. So, you know, you've gotten about half of it on that first one. Now just stay after it here.
It's the first catch for Hornstein of the game. He's rushed for 34 yards. Madler on a 3rd and 12, and that hit off the back of Carter Moreau from Fargo South, the defensive back.
Trolley's trying to get into that crease, and he kind of hesitates. It would have been interesting to see what would happen if Trolley runs that hard and he runs into him. Are you going to get the pass interference call there? They're just trying to look to hit that seam. He's number 2 receiver, second receiver from the outside, and he's just looking to hit that inside crease with Trolley.
Madler steps up in the pocket. He had a lot of room in front of him. Fires it to the middle of the field, and that's right through the hands of Hayden Lee, the target out of Velva.
And Hayden got kind of closed in on over there, and I'm not so sure. Yeah, it's 4th down, but Madler, you might want to just take off here and see what you can get.
Yeah,
maybe make a guy miss, maybe pick up a couple blocks and see if you can get it.
Yeah, I thought he had plenty of time, and
yeah,
it was 4th down, and so that's a turnover on downs, but I thought he had a lot of room in front of him to take off.
I agree. And it's tough to blame the offensive line on that. He was back there a long time. So now you know you're in that point of the game where you're down to under 10 minutes. You're up 13 points. Yeah, you're up 2 scores, but do you become a little conservative here and run the ball more than you're going to throw it?
The East goes to the ground on the opening play. T.J. Johnson from Milner North Sargent picks up 3 yards to the 36.
You know that old saying, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and I'll take it. So, we'll see what happens here. But I got to believe somewhere in this place, knowing Coach Kravachka, you're gonna see the ball in the air one time. I mean, it's an all-star game, and the kids want to have some fun, and you know. Once that whistle starts or once that horn hits, it's very, very intense out there, but it's also supposed to be a lot of fun for these guys too.
Page.
Marcus. That's Marcus Holkalter. Does a great job of sniffing it out, and then gets a cramp right at the end. You can tell the heat's kind of kicking in now, and you know, as much as you try to tell these guys to be hydrated, it's as hard as they're playing, especially a kid like Holkalter. You know, that's he's going to play the game hard. He's been out there on some special teams, like we said. You're missing Stone Cipher, so you're probably playing a little more than you're used to.
Yeah, Holkalter's played really well today too. Seems like almost every tackle he's in on.
Yeah. Takes after his mother a lot. Oh, Marty, I hope you hear this.
Got a lot of slander towards him today, huh?
Oh, he's a good friend of mine. He's a real good friend of mine. So.
Leads to throw.
Geez, I wasn't sure. I thought Leach might have been going to Page on that.
Yeah, I thought he was too. Either way, it's incomplete as he tried to connect with Josh Martinson. Well, if you're the West defense, you got exactly what you needed, a 3 and out, and you give your offense the football back.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to save a little time there, partially courtesy of the injury, of the cramp, but then also because that incomplete pass. And, you know, in the West or East, you got to throw it there. It's, you know.
Weisenberger to boot it away. And a fair catch called for by Doan at the 28-yard line. So the West starts things from their own 28 with 8:39 to go in the game.
You know, now again, you know, just a big thing for the West here, I just think, is stay away from penalties. If you stay away from penalties and stay in those real long situations, you've been fine, but the penalties have just kind of eaten you alive here a little bit in the second half. Your offense is moving the ball much better than it did in the first half. You've put the East on, the East defense on the field quite a while, so hopefully you can take advantage of that as well.
Great crowd on hand here for the 46th annual Shrine Bowl game.
Yeah, it's nice to see that, come out and support these guys and support the cause too.
Madler with a toss to Olsen. Tries to cut back towards the middle and picked up about 1 yard to the 30.
You know, as much as this is about football and all that stuff, this is more about the kids and about the Shrine and what they do. And I know from talking to the players that I've coached and talking to my own son about the impact that this week has had on them and what they get to see. And when we used to go down to Minnesota and to the hospital, but it's just a great thing for kids to be exposed to.
Yeah, these guys are competitors, and, when they get on the football field, they want to win. But you talk to a lot of guys after the games, and they tell you how much they learned throughout the week and how that was the highlight of it, not the football game.
Yeah. I've talked to several guys that played in this game, and they talk as much or more about what happened during the week. And meeting the kids with those special needs. And, that last play where the scene slips a little bit, and the kid did a good job of coming up and making a tackle on him. But that's what this is all about, is learning about that.
3rd and 11 for Madler. Fires to who else but Trolley, who makes a sliding catch right around the 39-yard line.
By the spot, it looks like they're going to give it to him.
Yeah. And they will move the chains on the 11-yard reception for Matt Trolley.
That was, we talked about one more thing about that. The Shriners, they always say it's for the children, and they really do mean that.
Yep. Bad snap. Madler has to track all the way back to the 20, and he's hit hard immediately.
Oh, they let him go.
And he completes it to Trolley. He must not have been down. He must have bounced off the defender.
He must have rolled over top of him.
That was Garrett Lund who got back there and what we thought was the sack, but apparently he bounced off of Lund and not the ground. We should get a pretty good look at it here.
He did.
Sure enough, he bounced right off Lund.
Good call. And, the thing about it is the East coaches, none of them were complaining about that, so I think they saw it too.
Trolley with another catch.
It's supposed to be a screen that they sniffed out.
Madler heaves over the middle to Trolley, who makes the catch for a first down and into East territory.
The reason I'm laughing is the umpire's sitting there looking at Trolley, and there's 2 linemen standing right beside him, so it's like, it's got to be illegal man downfield here.
There is a flag right around the 47-yard line where that catch was made by Trolley.
That was. I saw that right away, and I thought, are they going to call that? And I see it come out, and the umpire's like, okay, I got to call it now. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, so at least it's only a loss of 5. Yeah, it should have been a first down, but that's one of the things. You can't blame the offensive lineman for that. That's supposed to be a screen, and they can go downfield on that. So
2nd and 11. They go to the ground for the first time in a while, and Olsen plunges his way to the 42.
You gotta believe that this is now a situation where it is in the game. It's got to be 4-down territory. You basically have 2 downs now to make basically 7 yards.
Just crossed the 6-minute mark, so halfway through this fourth quarter, and a 2-possession lead for the East. 3rd down and 8 from the 42. Madler quickly flips it outside to Olsen. He made one guy miss, and he's about 3 yards shy of the first down marker.
Now that's similar to the play they run with Trolley. We call it bubble, but the difference here now is you got one guy out there with you, and he's going to block. And what the rule is on that is, okay, the guy not catching the ball, you block most dangerous. In this case, it's the guy head up, and now Olsen, you got to make somebody miss. You know, and okay, now it's 4th and manageable here.
4th down and 2. Madler to the near sideline, and it's caught for a first down.
I think that was Lee, wasn't it? Yep, that's Lee.
Hayden Lee with his first catch of the game.
You know, that there again, you know, it'd have been easy to say, okay, I'm going to Trolley, or I'm going to one of my guys that I'm used to, but a lot of confidence in Lee throwing it out there on a key situation here.
Lee, a first-team All-State guy at the Class A level this past year for Velva. He gets the 4th down conversion. And now the ball in East territory with just over 5 minutes to play. Quick pressure, and almost completed a pass to Trolley, but it flips out of his hands.
That's one of those that we call jailbreak. It's supposed to be you let him go and try to get some defense linemen downfield, and you bring that. It's like that bubble, except you're going to come to the inside with it. So here we go again. I mean, I think this is one of the situations, obviously, it's still 4-down territory now, especially when you're down in their territory.
2nd and 10 for Madler. He's got 4 wide receivers to choose from. He goes to Dayton Smith, who hops over the defensive back down to the 41. That's a pickup of 8 for Smith on his first catch today.
Madler's starting to get some more confidence in the receivers, and he's not waiting so long. He's throwing the ball on time, drop back, 1, 2, 3 throw, let it go, and you know, they're responding and making some catches.
Each of his last 4 completions have gone to 4 different targets. It's not just Trolley like it was for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, and that's been big. That's been real big.
3rd and short. Madler with a lot of time to throw. He heaves it to Olsen, and it's broken up. Adam Zavolny makes plays on both sides of the football.
He goes for the home run ball here on 3rd down, but he actually had Smith over here. Yeah, because there was nobody there. They're playing up tight on the outside guy. The safety's about 8 yards back. If he flips that to Smith, let him make a dance. But you know, you just got to give Zavolny a lot of credit on that play. He did a good job of recovering.
He's got a 4-yard rushing touchdown, and there he just prevented a touchdown defensively. 4th down and 3 from the 41.
They saw it the last time, but now they ran it to the short side, and he didn't have the same space.
Completes it to Smith, but for a loss of 1, and that's a turnover on downs.
Okay, now with what you've seen in the past, is it time to say, okay, Mr. Zavolny, you're going back at quarterback, and we're going to play power football for the next 4.5 minutes, or 4 minutes and 17 seconds. And I think we got a water break time out here, I'm guessing, the way it looks like. Give him a little water.
We'll take a quick break with them. 4:17 to go. The East up by 13.
Oh, yeah.
This telecast on Beck is presented by the following. Bell Bank. Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Farmers Union Insurance.
Kramer goes in motion. Share rolls out to the far sideline and hits a wide open Kramer across midfield.
Either set. Here they go to ground with an option. Nathan Weigel right up the middle. Nathan Weigel into the end
zone.
Little straight ahead play there.
Quick little handoff for about 10 yards and a first down.
You know, that was back. He hasn't seen the ball, but that a lot again. But that was Trey Ball that time again, and right up the middle, running hard.
It was only his third carry of the game. But he's got 24 yards on 3 carries.
Yeah, he when he's gotten his opportunities, he's taken them. You know, and now I know during the regular season with his own guys, Coach Gravotchka does a great job of getting these guys to use the play clock. And you can tell them, seeing and telling leads, that, hey, take your time, use the clock, even though we're in no huddle here.
Leeds goes back to Treble, and he picks up about 3 yards down to the 44-yard line. You think those guys are having fun with a late fourth quarter lead?
Yeah, you want to have some fun with this, you know. Yeah, you definitely want to win it, but you want to have a lot of fun with it. And I know during the week with all the things they've got going on, I got to put a little shout out to Mayville. They do a great job down there. You know, we used to be half of us in Fargo and half of us Grand Forks. Not that those guys didn't do a great job, but Mayville's got them all, and they do a wonderful job.
2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard run.
You know, even though they haven't gained a bunch on these last 2 plays, they've eaten up some clock. You know, and now you're getting under 3 minutes, and you know you're up 2 scores, so it's not like, okay, we gotta rush around here and hurry up and get a first down. It's like, well, okay, let's take our time. And I got to be honest with you, if it's me in this situation, because they can't block it. If I don't get it, if I don't gain a whole lot more, I'm still going to punt it and gain whatever yardage I need to here. In a normal situation, you might be going for it, but
Approaching 2.5 minutes to go here. It's a 3rd down and 7 for the East. They go back to the ground, and the West sniffed that out perfectly.
Yeah, the West had about 3 guys there waiting for him, and you know, did a nice job with that. You know, they've understood that we're gonna come up and play it now. So, you know, like I said, now here comes the punt team. Let's gain a few more yards on it. Yeah, I was gonna say the West took a time out there to save a little time here. And you got 2:22 left, so now when you get out there on defense after this punt, number 1, you got to cover it. Number 2, you know that they're going to be looking to put the ball in the air. So defensive linemen are going to pin their ears back and get after it, and D-backs. So you just got to have your head on a swivel and know what's going on.
That East defensive line has done a really good job, especially in that first half of getting back to Madler in the backfield.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They've done a really nice job.
So it's a 4th down and 8, and Weisenberger in there to punt for the East. Trying to pin the West back against their own end zone. The West needs 2 scores here in the final 2:22. Just got to ask your defense to go out and get a stop at this point.
Yeah, you know, and again here, you know, with normal high school rules, you're worried about a block, but now with this, you're definitely not. Hey, catch the ball, take your time, punt it, don't get in a hurry.
Smith and Doan back to receive the punt from Weisenberger, and it's short but takes a nice bounce for the East all the way inside the 10-yard line before it's picked up by Michael Hall.
I'd like to think that Coach Olson was down there and it looks like he was taking care of special teams and telling them, okay, you got to punt it towards the sideline. I'm going to give Coach Olson some credit for that, but you never know what, you know, I know Coach Olson well. I got to play some golf with him last weekend, so I'm not sure that was designed to go that way or not for me. Now, like I said, now it's big for being a D-back. Just keep your head on a swivel, watch what's going on. You know, you see it's a two deep coverage here, and you notice that safeties are playing a little bit deeper than normal. They're back standing at the 30-yard line, and we're snapping the ball at the 10. So, you normally don't give a 20-yard cushion, but. And you'll see the corners are going to back off, and if they want to throw that short one again, okay, go ahead, throw that short one again.
They do throw this short screen pass to Trolley, who spins away from a tackler, and he bounces down to the 20-yard line, right around the first down marker, but it looks about a yard short.
You know, and now on the west sideline, you got to think about when am I going to call timeouts, when am I not going to call timeouts. I think they got 2 left, and
Trolley with a second straight completion. This one for a first down. It goes 12 yards to the 31.
So now it's like, okay, I don't need to. No, we got to wait because the ball's not going to. It's not going to start till.
Adler comes to the near sideline and just mishandled by Hayden Lee. It was a little bit behind him.
Now again, it's getting, it's one of those things you haven't seen them go deep, but man, with as deep as they are, you think I got to get something short. Hopefully we bust one here and go from there.
2nd and 10, under a minute and a half to play. East up by 13, trying to win the 46th annual Shrine Bowl game. Adler steps into the pocket, fires to Hornstein on the near sideline, and Hall got a hand on it.
That's one of those too. If you watch this again, if we get it again, you watch Hornstein. He's kind of hesitating because he's not sure, and then all of a sudden, God, I got to go try to run underneath this thing. And again, that's that chemistry thing we talked about earlier. And Hall makes it good. Paul doesn't get a hand on that. Hornstein might have had that. That was a good play by Hall.
Couple incompletions in a row brings up a 3rd down and 10 with $1:23 to go. Don't forget our 9-man game follows this one as well. Incomplete pass. That was intended for Gullickson on the far sideline.
So now we're again it's 4th down. So now you got to be thinking about, okay, we got to make sure we got to get a first down here. That's Dravdal out there, I think. And the last one, I think they got Gullickson. I think that was Dravdal out there.
Picked off. Zavolny races it back the other way. A touchdown. And there's the exclamation point for the East.
And Zavolny doing it again. I mean, he's been that power back when they've run their quarterback ISO series, and then he's had some big plays on defense as well.
He had a rushing touchdown. He made a big play to save a touchdown last drive, and now he adds on to his touchdown total. 1 offense and 1 defense for Adam Zavolny.
Yeah, I think a little bit on the west side lane in that last series, Coach Gibson was, okay, Bismarck guys, you're going to sit here and we're going to let our other guys out there, and after a little bit there, and it'll be interesting what they come out and do now. Are they going to come out on this next one, and are they going to go back and just run the ball? Or are they going to try to throw the ball? And, like I said, we want to have some fun, and everybody kind of knows what's coming here next, but the eventual outcome, but. I look down on the field and I'm seeing some of these head coaches, and they got their young sons down on the field with them, being water boys and doing stuff, and I really think that's kind of neat. I see Coach Weidler's down there with his son. I saw Coach Olson down here with his son on the east sideline, and I really think that's neat. And I know how much that means to those kids, and I know how much it means as a parent, to have that happen too.
Step aside real quick. Finish up the 111 when we come back.
Quit eating your burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Follow your instincts to B-dubs for the new All-American Cheeseburger. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. And knock that baby down with a frosted beer at the bar, just like the sports gods intended. The new All-American Cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Down by Adam Zavolny is the exclamation point for the East, up by 20 with 1:11 to go over the West here in our 11-man Shrine game. The 9-man game follows this one immediately after. West will get one more look at it offensively to try to add some points onto the board with 71 seconds to play.
Tucker Hermes here on his basically 2-step kick. He does a good job of getting his leg into it.
Here's Hornstein from the 10. He has the only touchdown today for the West on an 85-yard kickoff return. That one goes back to the 45. He's had a couple really good returns today.
Yes, he has. That's about the third one, and he's probably got to have close to 150 yards in return yards today. Yeah, just finds a seam, runs hard, kind of pays for it here at the end a little bit, but yeah, you got time to heal up now.
So good field position here for the West to try to add on to their point total at their own 45-yard line. Adler hands it off on the first play, and the carry goes for about 4 yards, just shy of midfield.
I think that was Mack again, yeah.
Mack, a Jamestown product, staying in his hometown, playing for the Jimmies next year.
Down below us, the 9-man guys are starting to come out and start getting themselves ready. Keeping with the one back.
Goes to Mack once again. He charges ahead across midfield down to the 47, a couple yards shy of the first down marker.
I think Coach Gibson's just kind of said, "Okay, guys, that's enough. We're not gonna try to sneak one more in here." I see him congratulating his guys on the sideline, and in Mayville, and I think that's really got the camaraderie to be even better, because it used to be the 9-man East and an 11-man East, they got to know each other well.
Yep.
Well, now, and the same thing with 9-man West, 11-man West. Well, now you're all four in the same place, so you get to see each other. Yeah, you practice different places and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's just a real neat experience, and it's a great cause. Like I've said before, I was back and I got to coach back at the time when they used to take you down to Shrine Hospital, and for a variety of reasons they can't do that, and I understand why. But now they bring some kids in, and they have basically a fun day with the kids, and bring all the players out and bring the kids in, and it's nice enough they do stuff outside, and it's just a great thing, great learning experience.
27-7, the final, the East on top of the West. But Coach, the West, I think, made some really good adjustments, and they drove the ball down the field numerous times. They just couldn't put any points on the board late.
Yeah, you're right, and I think the biggest thing that hurt the West in the second half was penalties. We talked about that quite a bit, but I think that was the biggest thing.
A 20-point win for the East, all the exclamation point at the end with Adam Zavalny on the interception return for the touchdown. And now we're going to go down to the field with Corey Brooks on the sideline. He's with Adam Zavalny, our Choice Bank player of the game.
Thank you, Noah, here with Adam. And Adam, obviously 3 huge plays. Let's start from the most recent, that pick 6. What is your read on that play?
Well, I was just playing deep, trying not to let him get something deep there. I was just playing my spot, and I just read it well and got a good read on it, and yeah.
Then the knockdown, that touchdown, you swatted it away. How were you able to get to that ball? You had to go all the way back to make that play.
I tried to let him beat me a bit, and then I'd come back and get him, swat the ball at least. Yeah.
And then on the offensive touchdown, you look like you were down. You keep it going. It going. You're in the end zone. How do you keep those legs moving during those plays?
No, I just know if I just keep pushing, and our line, they're big, so I knew they'd get me in somehow. So
3 massive plays from the future UND product, Adam Zavalny. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Corey. Congratulations to Adam being our Choice Bank player of the game. A touchdown on offense, a pick 6 for a touchdown on defense. He saved a touchdown, breaking up a pass in the end zone as well. He helps lead the East to a 27-7 win over the West. Coach, it was a pleasure working with you. Thanks for coming here and being with us all game long. Had a lot of fun.
Thanks for asking. It was a great time.
27-7, the final score. The East on top of the West in the 11-man game. We'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, we go right back at it again, except this time on the 9-man side. We'll be right back with a 9-man game here on Beck Sports.